Hello, sir, and everyone. Today I want to present the fundamental of computer network assignment. So we are from Task C, KL campus, which is from DCS 2, Group 6. And then our team member have two people, which is Ho Jun Ming and DARREN Dong Tae Ya. All right. So for the introduction, we have assigned to do the set 2 assignment question, which that we need to complete all the tasks related to set up the local area network and the network configuration based on the assignment requirement. So this is the assignment department and the number of host department that require us to do, which have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 department and the number of hosts as listed out here. Right. So since the assignment question have needed us to increase the number of address to grow up to 50%, so that we have calculated out the 50% of the result of total number of hosts required at here based on the department. All right. So that's all for the introduction. So I will pass to Darren for next session.
So this is our network design, and we got 3 locations here. For location A, we got marketing department and ground floor, administrative department and first floor, and management department at the second floor. Then location B is a manufacturing plant, and location C is living quarter. Then we got another research and development department between the location A and location B. So first we need to put our router. The router, we are using the router PTMT. Then after we click the router, we need to turn the power off. And since we are using gigabyte, so we choosing this PT router and M1CGE and put inside here and then turn the power on back. Then since we got such different base, so we need to use such different switch. For the switch, just use the most common one, just put it there. And then each tray we got put 3 different PC for our computer. And then to connect the router to switch, we are using this copper thread through wire. You just click the router and choose the gigabyte and click the switch and choose the gigabyte also. Then for the switch to PC, we are using the fast and we also using this copper thread through wire and click the switch and select this fast antenna 01. And for the PC 17, we also using the same fast antenna 01. So after we done our network design, then we start to calculate our subnetting table. So we start from the largest number of host requests. So the first one is living quarter. We need to use a VLSM chart to easy to do this part. So we see which one is bigger than this one, but not so big. So we are choosing this. This is almost bigger a bit only. So this prefix is 9, and subnet mask is 255.128.0.0. And our subnet address is start from 10.0.0.0. So our first usable address is 10.0.0.1. And then our broadcast address, we look for here. This one is 0 until 127. So we is 10.0.0.1 until 10.127.255.255. So our last usable is broadcast address -1. So it's 10.127.255.254. And the other is so on. We continue from here +1, which is 10.128.0.0. Then we calculate our prefix. For this prefix, we look at here, it's almost fit this, so we're using prefix with 11. and the subnet mask is 255.224.0.0, and continue from where we stop is here 128 until 159. So we 10.128.0.1 until 10.159.255.255, and last usable address is -1, so it's 10.159.255.254, and the other is so on.
And then I will continue for the next part. So for the addressing table, the table inside is included the device, interface, IPv4 address, subnet mask, and the default gateway. So for the device, we have router, switch, and PC. All right. So for the router interface, we have 6 wire which is linked by router linked to the switch. We have 6. All right. So for the interface, first one is the Giga 00, and then for the IP address is using back the subnetting table, which is first usable 10.0.0.1, and then the subnet mask also using the back the same one is 255.128.0.0, and then the default gateway which is router don't have is, then we stated is not available. So for the switch, we using the interface is VLAN 1, and then for the IP address we using the 10.0.2 is because this the switch is linked by the Giga 0.0 is 10.0.0.1, so that we need to giving them have an address, so we need to +1, so which is 10.0.0.2. And then for the subnet mask is using back the same because they are the same department, so we are using the back. And then the default gateway also the using the back because the switch is linked by the router from the Giga 0.0, so the IP address is the same. All right. So for PC, the PC interface is NIC, and then for the IP address is using the last usable address as well. And then for the subnet mask is using back the same one because the PC is linked by the switch, and then it's from the router. All right. And then for the default gateway, we need to refer back to the router because just now we said the PC is linked by the switch and to the router. So the default gateway is from the router. So we need to use back the 10.0.0.1. Then that's all. Okay. So for the command section, for the router password configuration, we need to go to the router, create the router, and then go to the command line interface, and then we type the command which is enable to go inside there, and then we need to insert the configure terminal, and then now we got the router config, and then we can enable the secret password which is AACS2034, and then for the another password we need to go to the line console 0 to set the password with password score, and then after that we can continue to type the login. Right. So for the switch is also the same part for the router part, so it's the same one. And then for the router configuration of the addressing table, we also need to enable the router, and then go to configure terminal, and then we need to input the interface, which is the interface, which is the 6 interface, and the first one is giga 0/0, and then we need to type the gigabyte internal 0/0, and then after that we can type the IP address, which is the same IP address from the giga 0/0, which is 10 IP address 10.0.0.1 IP address, and then the same one is the subnet also 255.128.0.0, and then we need to make sure to type no shutdown to make sure it won't shut down the router. And then for the switch part, it's also the same. We need to enable first, and then go to configure terminal, and then after that we need to insert the interface also, which is interface VLAN 1, and then we also need to input the IP address and the subnet also inside the IP address. For the IP address is 10.0.0.2, and then for the subnet mask is 255.128.0.0. And then we also need to make sure with no shutdown to avoid it reset the switch. And then after that, the one more thing, we need to input the default gateway for the switch. And then which IP default gateway for the IP address of the default gateway is 10.0.0.1. So that's all for the configuration command part. So I will pass back to Darren to continue the next part.
So to ping our PC, to let our PC have the IPv4 address, we need to click the PC first. Then we click the desktop tab and click the IP configuration. Then we need to refer our addressing table we do before. Then because we are doing PC0, so we're looking for PC0. Put the IPv4 address inside and key in the subnet mask. Don't use the subnet mask the system give. And then change the default gateway to 10.0.0.1 and do the same thing to other PC. Example PC3, we click the desktop, we click the IP configuration and use the IPv4 address in the subnetting table and the subnet mask address here. And also remember put the default gateway. Okay. So for the last part, we need to confirm whether we got link correct or not. We need to see the color is correct or not. And also we need to ping all the PC to their default gateway. For example, this PC0, PC1, and PC2, we need to ping to their default gateway, which is 10.0.0.1. So we click the PC0, and in the desktop tab, we click the command prompt. Then we type ping 10.0.0.1. Then we type enter. If got 4 replies, that means we ping successful already. And do the same to the other PC. And for the PC 3, 4, 5, their default gateway is different. So we not ping 10.0.0.1. We are ping 10.128.0.1. Yeah. And for the PC 6, 7, and 8, we are ping 10.160.0.1. And for the other PC, we just ping to their default gateway.
So for the screen capture to other PC section, we need to test the PC from other location to another location. Is that connectivity testing is work or not? So from PC0 to PC3, we need to do the step is we need to go to PC0 and then go to command prompt and ping out the address of PC3. So which is ping 10.159.255.254. Right. Let's see the result. Okay. So we need to try again because this request timeout. So we ping again. Let's see it's work or not. All right, it went back. It's worked back. So it's successfully to ping from PC0 to PC3. It's work. And then for other part is also same. Is from location B. For if we need to from PC3 to PC8 is from location B manufacturing plant department with this. So we need to go to PC3 and ping out the PC8 address and other so on. So for another section of the same. So this the quantitative testing for the result we have shown out at below. So that's all our assignment part. Thank you, sir, and everyone for listening our assignment. Thank you and bye bye.